The game started how you'd probably expect, with a questionable call from the refs in favor of the Chiefs to stir up all the Twitter one-heads and put an end to Philly's first drive. The Chiefs started their first drive pinned deep at their own 12-yard line. They managed to get one first down before their drive stalled out after an uncharacteristic drop by Kelsey and a failed scramble attempt by Mahomes. The Eagles started driving the length of the field when they got an obvious makeup call from the refs after weak contact to Dallas Goedert from Trent McDuffie. It became apparent that the Chiefs' defensive game plan was to limit Saquon Barkley on the ground as much as possible, something that they seemed to actually accomplish successfully throughout the course of the game. After a loss of yardage by Barkley, the Eagles decided to take a shot down the sideline to Jahan Dotson, which was originally ruled a touchdown and then overturned, spotting the ball at the 1-yard line. Every NFL fan knew what that meant. The tush push was coming in full force, as the Eagles would push Jalen Hurts' ass into the end zone for an easy touchdown. Mahomes and the Chiefs stalled out again on their next drive and punted it back to the Eagles. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles looked like they were going to move the ball with ease again, but Spags dialed up a blitz that made Jalen throw a YOLO ball towards the end zone that ended up being picked off by Brian Cook. Mahomes and the Chiefs, however, were unable to capitalize on the Eagles' mistake and went 3 and out after Mahomes uncharacteristically missed Kelsey on a short hitch route as he was settling into the weak spot of the zone. In the Eagles' next drive, Jalen Hurts converted a clutch third down, throwing a beautiful back shoulder ball to A.J. Brown before Philly stalled out in the red zone before kicking a field goal to put them up 10-0. Twice in a row on the next drive, pocket collapsed quickly on Mahomes, and it became apparent that the Chiefs were really struggling to protect him up front. This left the Chiefs' offense on 3rd and 16, where Mahomes rolled out to his right quickly and rocketed the ball to a lurking Cooper DeJean. DeJean returned the ball for a pick six. It was his birthday, by the way, and this stunned the Chiefs, leaving the score 17-0 through 1.5 quarters. On the next drive, Mahomes and the Chiefs weren't able to make anything happen offensively again, as Mahomes was once again hounded by the pass rush and ended up getting tackled by his own left guard, Mike Caliendo. On the Eagles' next drive, the Chiefs' defense ended up pushing Hurts and the Eagles back to 2nd and 26, where a failed screenplay ended up giving the Eagles a first down after they got a ticky-tack call from the refs for unnecessary roughness as Nick Bolton almost killed Saquon Barkley. I mean, just look at that murderous intent. Saquon is just so lucky to have survived such a brutal hit. Jalen Hurts ended up throwing a ball that hit Trent McDuffie in the ass on 3rd and 3, and the Eagles ended up having a punt from midfield, once again pinning KC deep in their own territory. This is when things were really starting to get out of hand. On the first play of the drive, Mahomes attempted to throw over the middle around linebacker Zach Bond to Hollywood Brown. Josh Sweat, however, bulldozed Joe Thuney right into Mahomes, right as he was about to release the pass, causing the errant throw to zip towards Bond, who made a nice diving catch to intercept the ball. A few plays later, Jalen Hurts found a wide-open A.J. Brown on a shallow crosser for a touchdown, leaving the score 24-0 right before halftime. After a few unsuccessful plays, Mahomes rolled out to his right on 3rd and long, looking to instill any hope of starting a comeback, but sadly, his pass was dropped by DeAndre Hopkins, who had miles of open green grass in front of him to take it upfield and put the Chiefs in scoring position. After a halftime show that surely left more than a handful of old white people fuming, the Chiefs received the first kick and started their drive with a handoff to Pacheco, followed by a dynamic catch and run by Xavier Worthy. Had the Chiefs' offensive woes been extinguished over the course of halftime? Nope. Mahomes was sacked another 2 times in a row to leave the Chiefs on 3rd and forever once again, which they failed to convert, and punted the ball back to the Eagles. Jalen Hurts ended up picking up another clutch third down with his legs before Saquon made a crazy catch to get the Eagles into scoring position, where they eventually stalled out and settled for a field goal. It was 27-0 with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. The deficit was officially bigger than Brady's in the 28-3 Super Bowl against the Falcons. Surely the Chiefs were able to find some sort of spark by this point, right? Wrong. After getting to about midfield, the Chiefs got backed up by a holding penalty and were left at 3rd and 12, where Kelsey was able to set them up for 4th and manageable. But Mahomes uncharacteristically made a wrong read on an RPO, and the Chiefs ended up turning over the ball on downs. The very next play, Jalen Hurts threw up a beautiful rainbow ball to Devontae Smith for a 40-plus yard touchdown. That was surely the dagger to put the game away, and the era where a three-peat was possible felt like it was long gone. With only a few minutes left in the third quarter, the Chiefs' offense finally started to come alive as Mahomes completed a long ball to Xavier Worthy for about a 50-yard gain. Mahomes then completed a shovel pass to Kelsey and converted a 3rd and long, before rolling out to his right and throwing a dot to the end zone to Xavier Worthy for their first score of the game. Where the fuck was this for the whole rest of the game? The Eagles ended up stalling out and settling for another field goal, making the score 34-6 as the Chiefs failed a 2-point conversion. On the very next play, Mahomes was swallowed whole by the Eagles' pass rush again, fumbling the ball and getting hands to the face by the notorious safe driver, Jalen Carter. The Eagles fell on the ball, and for the 3rd time, Mahomes turned it over. I think the Chiefs should have probably received a roughing the passer and extended their drive because of it here, but I'm not going to cry about it. I'll leave that for all the Buffalo and Houston fans. That's their thing. The Eagles' next drive stalled out, and they ended up taking another field goal, making the score 40-6 with 8 minutes left in the game. On the next drive, the Chiefs began to move the ball in a way we've been accustomed to seeing them do it all year, methodically with short passes, before Jalen Carter jumped off sides, and Mahomes, realizing he had a free play, threw a YOLO ball towards the end zone that was picked off by C.J. Gardner-Johnson. After that, the Chiefs began moving towards the end zone again with a scramble by Mahomes and a few short passes before throwing a touchdown pass to Hollywood Brown on a crossing route that was taken off the board because of an OPI by Juju Smith-Schuster. The Chiefs would eventually score again, though, making a back shoulder throw to D-Hop with a 2-point conversion to Justin Watson before almost recovering an innovative onside kick by linebacker Leo Chanel. After getting Casey's last timeout and chewing some clock, Philly turned the ball back over to Casey. With the clock inside the 2-minute warning and no timeouts, Mahomes threw a 50-yard bomb to Xavier Worthy for a consolation score, followed by another successful 2-point conversion to D-Hop to make the score 22-40. After failing to recover yet another onside kick, Kenny Pickett, who played snaps in the Super Bowl before Dak Prescott, by the way, knelt down a few times, and the Eagles came away with their 2nd Lombardi trophy, while the Chiefs were left shocked and stunned by their disappointing performance.